A statewide nonprofit hosted its first ever summit in Brooklyn Park. Minnesota Africans United addressed workforce challenges within the African immigrant community. Reporter Pafua Yang joins us now to explain what some of those challenges are. Pafua?
Shannon, African community leaders tell me many skilled and educated immigrants are unable to get a job because credentials are not being recognized in the states, including work and education.
We have complications of completing the job applications, and we have the talents, but we don't have the system is so bureaucratic in such a way that navigating it to put your foot at the door is actually one of the most difficult things.
Minnesota Africans United introduced a bill at the state legislature that would recognize foreign credentials. The group also wants to increase resources for African communities.
The pipeline connection between the employer and the African Immigrants Committee is also lacking, and that's why Minnesota Africans United is coming to build this coalition so we can work with the state of Minnesota, with corporates, with businesses, with nonprofit, and to see how do we help them close this gap.
Despite the workforce challenges, the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis reports that the labor force among African immigrants in Minnesota is higher than all immigrants, as well as people born in the U.S. Shannon?
All right, thank you, Pafua. The Robbinsdale City Council approved preliminary budget this week, one that adds to public safety. The city's net property tax levy is expected to go up about 5% or $373,000. For the average home in Robbinsdale, that's about a $64 increase in city taxes next year. The budget will allow Robbinsdale to hire an additional full-time police officer. The city is looking to have 3 police officers on the streets at all times. City Council members say it's a very reasonable budget.
Really is paying for our existing staff with that increase, and with the additional money that we got from the state, we're able to get a couple of other very needed positions.
Robbinsdale could still vote to lower the tax levy when final budgets are approved in December, but it cannot go any higher than what was approved this week. The City of Crystal is honoring a city employee who spent nearly 40 years on the job and helped the city overcome a major crisis. Crystal's utility superintendent, Randy Klepper, is retiring. He started working for the city back in 1983, that is 36 years ago. His expertise helped the city overcome significant water pipeline issues, including major sinkholes that impacted neighboring Robbinsdale in 2013 and 2014, caused by aging infrastructure. Councilmember Judy Deschler says the city was really blessed to have him, and Mayor Jim Adams says workers under him gathered a lot of his knowledge to help Crystal move forward. An end of summer celebration for some kids meant one more chance to get out on a dirt bike. Some youth have been learning how to ride all summer, and Wednesday night they showed off what they could do in Brooklyn Park.
What's that mean?
So you're going to go up and across the hill. You're going to come down, go over the obstacle that's over there. Then you're going to ride across the plank, come around the turn, over the other obstacle, and you're going to weave the cones and then do the same thing again.
Sometimes a new experience means conquering a few fears.
You don't have to do the hill if you don't want to, if you're not comfortable. Same thing with the obstacles, you don't have to go over.
But these mini dirt bike riders have been chipping away at the intimidation of dirt bike riding all summer long.
I never thought that I would, in my first in life, would get on a bike like this.
It is inspiring to them because it builds self-assurance, self-confidence, self-esteem. It gets them outside. It gets them with other kids. It gets them to be social. It's very therapeutic.
Lisa Robinson-Gussner is one of the instructors of National Youth Project Using Mini Bikes, or NIPM for short. The program uses mini bikes to teach life lessons.
And there's a lot of ups and downs. I guarantee them everyone will fall. I tell them that on the first day. And it's very humbling when they do, but they are here and they're a part of something. They are outside, they're working hard at their goals, and it's pretty inspiring.
Over the summer, the kids get to know one another.
It really builds relationship building, and they feel great about being able to pass on. Everyone out here is equal. We're all riding the same bikes. We're all doing the same lessons. We're all falling in the same dirt.
And when they fall, they have a chance to get back up. A lesson in perseverance that is soon overshadowed by the fun of it all.
This is my first summer trying the mini bike lessons, and I really liked it. It's exciting. It's something like daredevilish to try.
And in case you're wondering where the bikers were racing, it's near the archery range on West River Road in Brooklyn Park. This weekend, people will flock to Maple Grove for what's called a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Hindu Temple of Minnesota.
We moved in here in 2006, and according to our scriptures, every 12 years or so, we have to renew, rejuvenate, and recommit our efforts to the temple.
Thursday, Hindu faithful held opening prayers for a 4-day celebration called Makumbhabhishekam. Volunteers put on finishing touches on the overflow tent out in the parking lot. The temple expects more than 5,000 people to come for religious and cultural events spanning 4 days.
So all these things will started about a year ago, planning and getting all the things from India, because some things we don't get it here.
It's almost a labor of love for the volunteers here who have been diligently planning every aspect of it. Religious, that's something that's going on behind us right now. There is cultural.
A number of priests are visiting from all over the country as well. And as we go to break, we'll leave you with more of the sights and sounds of the 4-day celebration.
Champlin Park volleyball team won its first state championship last fall. The Rebels graduated 4 Division I players from that team, and they're finding the going a little tougher so far this season. The past 2 state class 3A champs meeting as the Rebels hosted Lakeville North. It's a close match throughout. Lakeville North sets at middle, and Abby Milner wipes it off the block for a kill as the Panthers take the first set 25-22. Champlin Park responds. A nice dig by Megan Panzer leads to a kill for Hannah Praske. The Rebels prevail 25-23 to tie the match at 1-1. Champlin Park has a nice run early in set 3. Taylor Hillman gets the kill here for a 5-4 lead that grows to 8-4 moments later. But it's Lakeville North coming through for the win. Maddie Horniak gets the kill as they surge into the lead and go on to win 25-22 in the third. The Panthers control much of the fourth. Ella Thompson in her first match back from an injury gives them a spark as the Panthers win in 4. Champlin Park is now 1-3 this season. Outdoor sports are gaining popularity in high schools as teams have formed in recent years in both trap shooting and fishing. Jack Betker and Noah Poppy are Osseo High School sophomores who both qualified for and fished in the recent National High School Bass Fishing Tournament in Tennessee. The pair finished in the top half out of the 300 teams from across the country who qualified based on total weight of fish caught at the 3-day tournament. Though they would have liked to have caught more fish, the two said it was a great experience.
It was insane. It was incredible, really. It was like, it was really cool. It was hot, really hot, really hot. Just everybody in the morning, you just see white and green and red lights, and it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it was fun. There was like 300 people or 300 boats there, and it was just fun seeing all the teams from across the nation. It was really fun.
Biggest thing for me, I think, is the smile on these kids' face. Either we make it to nationals or not, just watching these kids grow and learn, and just the smiles all day long, and going to nationals was huge for the kids too.
JR's Tackle in Maple Grove is one of the sponsors for the team. Jack and Noah both fished in the state tournament in late August along with a team from Wayzata. Those results will be compared with those from other states in the coming months as they look to qualify for the 2020 state tournament. And speaking of fishing, September is here, but there is still plenty of good fishing out there. Here's Terry Tuma with the final fishing tip of the season.
Fall fishing provides us a great opportunity not only to catch quality of fish, but also quantity of fish. That's going to apply to walleyes, bass, many times northern pike, sunfish, and crappies. And these fish put the feeding bag on, not because they're fattening up for the wintertime that you so often hear about. You know, if you just sit back and think, well, they feed it in the wintertime, we catch these fish, so obviously they're feeding. But what the real factor here is that there's an abundant new food sources for these fish, so they're just taking advantage of those increase in food sources. So we have to capitalize on that. And looking for, you know, cover, structure are all ingredients in us catching these fish. Working with different baits and different lures that we talked about throughout the summer time frame. But also too, I want to mention that to increase your success, always remember there's not any hot spots or no hot bait. It's just working with specific baits, understanding the fish's environment, the body of water that you're working with, the cover, with the structure and so forth. That's all pluses, not only for the fall patterns of fishing, but throughout the whole open water season and including ice fishing. This is the last segment of doing the fishing tips on CCX Media. We'll be right back starting in December talking about ice fishing with a whole bunch of new tips. Have a great fall, enjoy your time on the water, and get prepared for ice fishing in December.
Thanks, Terry, and that's all for sports.